it's Chrissy again, and today I have for y'all another book haul. So after BookCon, they had a Booktubers meetup at the Strand bookstore in New York, which is a famous bookstore, and it was awesome. It was 3 stories, and it was great. But I got a whole bunch of books there as well, and they just came in the mail. I kind of forgot what I got, but I'm excited because I know I got some good ones. Once again, we're going to try not to cut myself or the books. Ha! I would show you the box, but you really can't see anything because on top is my Strand bag. I really like messenger bags like this, but my old one is kind of a little kiddish, and this one's a little bit classier, and I like it. It has pockets. Pockets here, pockets inside, and it has the Strand since 1927. I really like this bag. That's why I got it. I also got a magnet. It is a library, and I loved it. I loved it. I saw it. I loved it. I wanted it bad. So I got it. Dropping it now. But now books. Books. Okay. So first I have it got bent. Anyways, first I have The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness, the first book in the Chaos Walking trilogy. I know what y'all are saying. That is such a good book, because every single person in the store that saw this on top of my pile said, oh my god, those are such great books. And I know that because of Booktube, and I want to read them so bad. They didn't have the second one, so I didn't get the third one. And that's the next thing I will be getting. Next book order will contain the second and third book in the series, because I want to read it, and I want to read it badly, and I want to get this sticker off, hopefully without any problems. But yes, that is my first book. Ironically, okay, so I go to the Strand bookstore. I see this book on a table, and I want it, so I get it. But then I go to the YA section to see if they have the second or third book. And the YA section, for the most part, they were spread out in other areas, but the main shelf was like one aisle. Ness was in the far corner of this one aisle. And because this is where the Booktube meetup was, I couldn't get down that aisle. Like, there were people stuffed in this one aisle of the bookstore. So I actually had to go to the aisle next to it, because I got so frustrated waiting. Went to the aisle on the other side, reached through the bookshelves to see if they had the second or third book of this series. And they had the third, but they didn't have the second, so I just got the first one. But it's a funny story. I thought it was funny. It might have been just a had to be there moment, but The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. Next, I have another Patrick Ness book, and that is More Than This. And this book is so cool. It has a little cutout here, like there really is a door, and I just heard great things about this book as well. Oh, I probably should tell you about these books, huh? If you didn't know what The Knife of Never Letting Go was about, unless I'm mixing it up, something else. The Knife of Never Letting Go is about a world where you can read everybody's mind, but there's like only guys. Any man can read another man's mind, including the animals, if it's a male animal, and I believe there aren't any girls around. And then the main character stumbles upon silence for the first time. He suddenly doesn't hear a million voices in his head. And that is really all I know about this book, except for the fact it's a great series, apparently. Because everybody in the store kept saying that, which just made me want to read it more, and made me more frustrated that they didn't have the second book. Yeah. But back to More Than This by Patrick Ness. I know this book, the main character dies, like at the very beginning, and this is all about that. Actually, apparently he dies but doesn't die. He remembers dying but is suddenly alive. I really don't know what this book is completely about, for I don't think you're supposed to know what this book is completely about. I think that's the point of the book, is trying to find out what's actually going on. But I'm looking forward to this book because I've only heard great things. Next, I have Deathsworn by, oh shoot, the name's Leah Cypress. Yes. This is a fairly new book, and I saw it in Cassidy from Cassidy Von Shay's pile. She was getting books at the Strand, and I was like, oh, where did you get that? And she ended up putting it back, and I grabbed it because I have heard good things about it. It sounded really good. I know it's a magical world, and the girl loses her magic, and so she goes to the school to become a teacher to teach magic, and people start dying, and that's really all I know about it. But it looks so good. It sounds so good. I just remember really wanting to read this, and I saw it, and I grabbed it. So, yes. Next, I have Rebel by Amy Tintera. I got it right the first time. Amy Tintera, who, by the way, I have to say this every time I talk about this author, is also a Texas Aggie. Texas A&M Aggie. So, must support Amy Tintera. I have not read her first book yet, which is Reboot. This is the second book in the series, and I can't wait, because I'm really excited to read this series, to support my fellow Aggie, and just because it sounds really good. So go read it, even if you're not an Aggie. If you are an Aggie, you really should read it. But read it either way. I can't tell you what this book is about because it's the sequel, but a brief idea of the first book is that, I haven't read the first book yet either, but brief idea is that the main character, dies, but is rebooted. And when they're rebooted, they're not completely human. They're stronger, they're faster, they're less emotional, and she is basically, the main girl is supposed to be training new reboots, and there is a guy, new reboot, who's a little bit more human than the rest of the reboots. And yeah, come on, you can guess what kind of goes on after that. And this is the second book in the duology. So there's only 2 books, and this is it, and this is the end, and I'm looking forward to reading these. Next, I have The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Jennifer Lynn Barnes. One of these days I'm going to get better at the author name thingy. Yes. Anyways, I thought it was really funny because I had just heard about this book literally right before I went to New York. And I hadn't heard about it before that, and it's not a new release, I don't think. But basically, the girl's really, really good at reading people. She's a natural at reading people's emotions and thoughts, not like supernatural, like the mentalist, but a kid. And basically, the police or this organization gathers up all these kids that are really naturals at all these kind of things, and they're supposed to be solving a crime, and they end up kind of being involved at victims / one of them may be a suspect. I really don't know that for sure. I think I'm jumping to conclusions. But I also know there's supposed to be a sequel that is supposed to come out soon, I think, if I remember correctly. But I saw it right after hearing about it, and I just thought it was a sign. I have to get the book. So, I'm looking forward to this one! Now, this next book, I actually went and sought out. Like I said earlier, the YA section was packed. So I thought I'd go around to the adult section, and there have been a few adult books I've been interested in reading, and I looked around, and then I remembered that there are some people on Booktube who are reading The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. And I looked it up when I saw that they were all going to read it, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to read it in June because I have a lot of other books that I want to read this month. But I definitely want to read it because I looked it up, and it's basically all the books I read, but adults. There's a clairvoyant, and people know that they have these people with these special powers. They call them clairvoyants. I don't know if it's just that they're clairvoyant and can see the future, or if there's something else to it. I think there is a little bit more to it than just predicting the future, but I don't know. And everyone knows they exist, but they're not supposed to. Like, they're killing them. It's a crime to exist, to be a clairvoyant and exist. And things happen. So it's just like all the books I read, but adult. And so I know the sequel is also about to come out soon, and it's supposed to be like a 7-book series. And the way that all the other booktubers described it, I will link someone's video down below. I don't remember who all the booktubers were. There were a few that I subscribed to that are reading it this month, and I'll find at least one of them so that you can track that down. Anyways, so I'm really excited about this book because it's adults, but everything I read. I think I've said that several times now, but I am excited about it. The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. And that's it. I'm gonna hit myself in the face with the box. That's it. That's all of them. See if I can do it. Okay. On one hand. One hand. This is all the books. This is all the books that I bought at the Strand. And until next time. Bye.